Hey guys, what's going on? Darren here, and welcome back to the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. And this time, we're at Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. If you haven't checked out the last round, go back, go check it out. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix was a brilliant race, and we had one of our best results of the season. Yep, we finished in second. It wasn't quite a victory, but it was a 1-2 finish for Pulse Motorsports, the first 1-2 for Renault Pulse in our My Team Career Mode. And here today in Montreal, we are looking to once again get another 1-2 finish. And you know what? If things go right, there's no reason why we should not get this 1-2 finish. Montreal should be a fantastic circuit for the Renault Pulse car, and the reason for that is the same reason why we were so strong in Baku. In Baku we were strong because we had an ultimate drag reduction upgrade, as well as the most powerful engine in Formula 1. And that will pay dividends here today in Montreal, with, of course, us having the most powerful engine and the most drag reduction applied on the car. I think that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, here we are in Montreal, a circuit which has a lot of straight lines and a few chicanes in between, which means it will be perfect for our car. So as you can see, we're currently in P9 in qualifying, but we went again for a second run, and we're going to see what we can do now in our second run. We need to improve because this car is much better than P9 and P10. Here we go now through the wall of champion chicane, and it's a run to the line, and we're 4 tenths up, and what is it going to be? Where's it going to put us? We're currently P4, but here we go now, right to the end of qualifying, and this is going to be our final run in qualifying. What can we do on our final lap? You can see we're currently, as we go through the first couple of corners, we're 1.5 tenths, make that about 2 tenths up on our previous lap. We get a good run there through that chicane, and here we go now to the end of sector 1. What's it going to be? It's about a 10th improvement from where we were, and now through the chicane, this is a place where we can always find time, because I always somehow lose time through there. So you can see there we gain about half a tenth, and now through this chicane here, we find another half of a tenth of a second. We're 2 tenths up now on the run to the hairpin. What are we going to be? Are we going to be purple at the end of sector 2? No, we are green though, and we're a 10th under Max Verstappen. So that means right now we're looking at about P2, maybe even first place, because we tend to gain a lot of time down this straight and into the wall of champion chicane. And here we go now. You can see we're gaining time all the while. 2.5 tenths up through the wall of champion chicane we go now, and we gained about another 10.5. And we're going to be 4 tenths under our previous lap. A run to the line. What are we going to be? Let's find out.
It's time once again then to go racing here in Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world, and home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, 2.7 miles of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula 1 calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Bennett lines up on pole position, and it's Alain Prost alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Ricciardo, Sainz, Schwartzman, Fernando Alonso, and Esteban Ocon, Perez, Gasly, Mick Schumacher, and Verstappen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Oscar Piastri, Joe, Nicholas Latifi, and Théo Pourchaire. Stroll, they've taken a grid penalty. Tsunoda, Albon, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
So Max Verstappen taking a very much not needed grid penalty for this Grand Prix. But as you can see, it's a Pulse 1-2. We just edged out Alain Prost. What can we do now at the start of this Grand Prix? It's lights out and away we go. Prost gets off to a better start than us. He takes the lead. And Norris also tries to find a way, but down the inside we go. Back past Lando Norris, and that is us now up to P2 in this Grand Prix, slotting in behind teammate Alain Prost. To be honest, I was probably expecting that Prost would get us off the line. It's fairly typical that the AI does get a better start than us, and Prost is one of the best drivers in the field, if not the very best driver in the field. So it makes sense that he did get a better launch on us. But it's 1-2 then, off the line, and you can see there Charles Leclerc's going to be doing what he can to try and maybe stop us from being first and second. He's going to look to go down the inside, but there's no room at the end. Leclerc couldn't do anything about us there and has to slot in behind us. So it's 1-2 for Pulse Motorsports here in Montreal as we end the first lap, or at least get round the hairpin and then down the back straight before we end the first lap. We're not quite at the end of the first lap yet, so don't want to get ahead of myself, but we are already 1 second clear from Lando Norris in third place with Charles Leclerc all over the back of him. Actually, Charles Leclerc there finds a way past Lando Norris, so Charles Leclerc takes P3 in this Grand Prix. And you can see as we're looking back, those two are going wheel to wheel, and I think there was some contact there between them. Let's take a look as we go on board with Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. Here we go into the champion chicane. Leclerc has the inside line, and there is contact. There is contact, and there is some wing damage there for Lando Norris. That could be a disaster for Lando Norris. Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris with wing damage in this Grand Prix. It's gone out to lap number 4, starts at lap number 5. And you can see we've already opened up a 4-second gap to Lando Norris. So Norris must have some kind of wing damage. There's no reason why Norris is 4 seconds behind us. And the only reason I can think that is because he does have some wing damage there with his collision with Charles Leclerc. And if that is the case, then this could be a disastrous race for Lando Norris in this championship. Norris is currently trailing me by 1 point. We have a 1-point lead over Lando Norris in this Drivers' Championship. And well, if he has some damage, then as we saw with Max Verstappen in Baku, where Verstappen lost about 25 seconds because of some slight wing damage, then Lando Norris could be about to lose a lot of time and potentially a lot of places in this Grand Prix. Guys, if you're enjoying this video and enjoying this series, please do smash the like button down below and subscribe for more F1 content. We're going to be doing a lot more of this My Team Career Mode, especially now that the real F1 season has come to an end. So we're going to be doing some more My Team. We may even throw in some F1 Manager yet as well, because I haven't actually done any F1 Manager. So it would be good to maybe get started, do a season on F1 Manager if you guys are interested. If you are, of course, interested in that, please do let me know down below, because yeah, I actually haven't played much of that game, to be honest. And it would be good to play some of that game and actually record some of it for you guys and record an F1 Manager Career Mode. Yes, if you guys would be interested in that, please do let me know down below as we go now to the end of lap 7. And you can see we are right up the back of Alain Prost, and we're getting closer and closer to Alain Prost. Are we going to be able to try and move on Prost? We're going to sit behind him for now, but we get a good run through the champion chicane. And here we go now with the ERS. We're going to use what we've got left of ERS and DRS. We're going to go down the inside on Alain Prost. And that is us going through into the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. Prost is doing what he can to fight it, but he can't do just about enough. And we go through past Alain Prost, and that is us into the lead of this Canadian Grand Prix. But as we go towards the end of lap number 8, as you can see, Prost has got the DRS, and he's going to be coming back at us. And he's going to be coming at us around the outside. Can he make it sticky? Can I think? No, we're going to launch it down the inside of Prost. It's a late move there to get back past on Prost. But then we spin up the rears on the exit, and Prost is going to be able to come back at us. And Prost retakes the lead of this Canadian Grand Prix. And now we're surely just going to have to sit in behind Alain Prost. Yeah, I think we can't do much there about Prost. Prost then retakes the lead of this Grand Prix, but he makes a mistake. Oh, I don't believe it. Prost made a mistake. Just as I was saying, he's retaken the lead. He then makes a mistake, and we go back through, and we now retake the lead of this Canadian Grand Prix. And then at the end of lap 10, you can see we still got the lead, but we're going to dive into the pits. We're going to pit early. It's a lap or two earlier than the rest of the cars, but we know that with the tyre wear being pretty high here in Montreal, us coming in for a fresh set of mediums, coming in a bit early, is going to pay dividends for us, I think, because some rain is expected a little bit later on but it's not expected until we're on the hard tyres. So we're going to try and get the best out of these mediums, and then hopefully get the best out of a set of hard tyres later on before this rain comes here in Montreal.
Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was 1 minute 15.9.
So that's very interesting. Just heard there by Mark Priestley that Max Verstappen is on a one-stop strategy currently. So you can see we've actually found a way past Max Verstappen. I don't really know where that was. I must have missed that. But we found a way past Max Verstappen, who's on a one-stop strategy, which is very interesting. You can see here now we're right behind Mick Schumacher, and Schumacher dives into the pits. We went to try and move down the inside, but it doesn't really matter because, of course, he went into the pits. And you can see here, we go through past Prost, take second place because Sergio Perez, I struggled to figure out who that was there. Sergio Perez takes the lead then of this Canadian Grand Prix, and Red Bull, it seems, is on a one-stop strategy. So there's Sergio Perez. He's ahead of us. He is on the one stop here today. And Sergio Perez then is going to be taking the lead of this Grand Prix. But the question is for how long is he going to be leading this Grand Prix? Charles Leclerc has found a way past Max Verstappen. But as you can see, Max Verstappen is holding up the likes of Lewis Hamilton, Alain Prost, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, those guys. Max Verstappen is holding all of those guys up on his one stop. His medium tyres are dropping off the cliff, and you can see he's losing a lot of time to the cars that do overtake him, and he's 7 seconds behind us. And now we've caught the back of Perez. We're losing time to Perez, but we're going to go straight down the inside there on Sergio Perez, and that is us now back up into the lead of this Grand Prix. It's pretty much to be expected that happened. We retake the lead of the Grand Prix, but we go now towards the end of lap 19, and you can see there's a car pulling off. It's Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is retiring from this Canadian Grand Prix, and the safety car has been deployed, and Charles Leclerc is out of the Canadian Grand Prix. I don't believe it. Charles Leclerc is out. Now Sergio Perez has already stopped for a set of hard compound tyres, and what you will struggle to believe is Max Verstappen also boxed, but Verstappen stopped for a set of medium tyres. So Max Verstappen is going to have to stop again in this Grand Prix, but Sergio Perez, he's already done the one stop. He stopped about 3 or 4 laps ago to go onto a set of hard tyres to take him until the end of the Grand Prix. We though have got a free stop to go onto a set of hard compound tyres, but the question is what is going to happen with Sergio Perez? Is Perez going to get out ahead of us, or is he going to be just behind us? Perez is there. He's ahead of Hamilton, but he's just behind us. We retake the lead. We maintain the lead of this Canadian Grand Prix, but we have fresh, hard tyres. Sergio Perez, he's on tyres that have done about 4 or 5 laps already. Perez heads on 4 or 5 lap old tyres versus us. Verstappen's on about 6 lap old medium, so Verstappen is going to have to come in again. But you can see as we restart this Grand Prix, we've got fresh hards versus Perez, who has a few lap old hard tyres. So provided we can just about maintain the gap at the restart, as we do, we get a very nice restart. Then with that in mind, we should be on track to win this Canadian Grand Prix. We just need to save it from Perez, and that is exactly what we have done. So it should be difficult now to see Perez finding a way past us, and we go all the way to the end of the Grand Prix, and as you can see, we're able to open up a 5.9 second gap to Sergio Perez, and with that, we win the Canadian Grand Prix.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
A hard-fought win today then, after a very difficult race. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way onto the podium now.
What a brilliant result for us that was in the championship. Sergio Perez also with a very good result in the championship, but Lewis Hamilton getting on the podium. Mercedes have not really featured in this championship fight, so for him to get himself on the podium is a brilliant result, not just for him, but quite selfishly, it's a brilliant result for us as well. So it's a very welcome return to the podium for Lewis Hamilton here in Montreal. So at the end of the race, we win the Canadian Grand Prix from Sergio Perez in second place. Lewis Hamilton finishes in third. Alain Prost finishes fourth for Pulse Motorsports. Robert Schwartzman, another driver who's not really featured in this championship, is P5. Alonso 6, who again has not featured in this championship fight. Ricciardo in 7th. Gasly in 8th. Mick Schumacher 9th. Carlos Sainz rounds out the top 10. So Perez and Prost are the only two drivers who are really in this championship fight with me, and they're the only two to have scored some points here today. Norris, he wasn't in the points. Sainz only got 1 point. Verstappen finished in P15. So as you can see, as we go to the Drivers' Championship, we're now leading the Drivers' Championship by 14 points from Sergio Perez, and Alain Prost is 22 points behind us. Lando Norris is now 26 points behind us, and of course Pulse Motorsports is leading the Constructors' Championship. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and if you did, as always, comment, leave a like, and if you aren't new, of course, subscribe to the channel for more F1 content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for the next round. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Thanks for stepping in and helping.